Greetings, everyone. Today is Wednesday. It is April the 1st, and it's Wednesday. And I have had a bit of a weeping Wednesday. Feeling a little sad, feeling a little under the weather. And I think, I think, or I feel in my heart, that there's a general sadness going on right now because it's really starting to hit us that business as usual is not happening. And so I'm going to call today, what would you wish for right now? And what is it that you miss? So when I woke up this morning, I realized, I'll go first, and then you can type in what you want to say. I realized today that I really miss yoga class. Yeah, of course we can do it online, and of course we can put on a DVD, but I really miss the camaraderie of having other people in the class and the teacher coming over occasionally to adjust us. And I really miss yoga class, and I miss Pilates class. I also miss going to my organic market and being able to talk to some of my friends that work there, sit in the cafe, talk on the phone and do a little work there. I really miss being able to touch other people. I mean, right now we can't touch anybody, and I do miss that. And I wish that this virus, the sun would come out, it'll be a really warm, sunny day, and the virus will not be able to survive in the sunny, warm weather. That's what I'm wishing for, and that the sun comes out really soon, and it gets warm, and we will be, now I don't want to make predictions, but that we will be done with this quarantine by the end of the month. You can drive yourself crazy if you do try and predict when it's going to end. So we'll just take it one day at a time. I was also a little sad today because about 8 years ago I went to South Africa, and I went on a wonderful journey. And I went because I was introduced to the white lions of Timbavate. Now these white lions, they allege, were on the planet about 100,000 years ago. They're magnificent creatures. This is one of the books, Saving the White Lions by Linda Tucker. Okay, and this is a picture of her with Mara, the very first lion that she saved. And she got her training, her shamanic indigenous training, with Maria Cosa and with Credo Mutwa. And I had heard about Credo Mutwa back in the late 90s when I was working for a magazine, Life Pages. And I had met somebody, and that's about 20 years ago, that had gone to South Africa and saw these beautiful murals that he had made. And some of them were prophetic murals, and one of them was actually a mural of planes going into the Twin Towers. And that was in the 70s, so he had actually predicted September 11th, probably 30 years before it happened. He also predicted the infection of HIV, and that it would take indigenous holistic medicine in conjunction with traditional medicine to cure that. And you know, these days, a lot of people who have it are able to function normally. And he did predict what's happening now. He didn't call it a virus, but he said there'd be a massive rebirth on the planet around this time. And if you had listened to my other video, I talked about the bat, which represents rebirth, which allegedly this is where this virus came from. Now there are other theories, of course, that it was created in a lab and it was created on purpose to depopulation and other things. I don't know about that. I just feel that the bat, since it is in the forefront, is symbolic of a global rebirth. and a reset for us to live more in conscious community. And again, that's happening online, but it is still very challenging that we can't get together. I found out, so I listened to Amanda Ellis, and I'll put her YouTube at the bottom. And Amanda Ellis is out of the UK, and she does readings, but she is very prophetic, and she does channeling, and she did a spread, I believe it was yesterday, on how the virus is going to affect South Africa. And as you can imagine, well, I was there, and again, the White Lion Preserve is beautiful, and the landscape is beautiful, but there is a huge population of people in South Africa that are way below the poverty line. I mean, what they were living in, to me, looked like it was so emotional for me to walk through Soweto. That's all I can say. And so I was wondering, where are they going to put all these people that are on lockdown? Because some of them don't have homes, and if they do have a home, it's so overcrowded, and they don't have proper bathrooms. I remember seeing an outhouse for like 40 people. They don't have the proper sanitation. So they just put them on lockdown, and the police are being very harsh with them. And so I had Googled that, and then I found out that, Linda Tucker, who wrote this book, who has the White Lion Preserve, she was trained by, he's called the King of the Lions, Credo Mutwa. And Credo Mutwa was a Zulu shaman, and you can find him on YouTube. He has some YouTubes with David Icke, if you've ever heard of him. And he left his body on March 25th, and he was 98 years old. And I was feeling this sadness this morning, but I didn't know that information. All I did, as soon as I woke up, I watched the video with Amanda Ellis doing her spread about her, what she was seeing, how the virus would affect South Africa. And you can watch it yourself. And there is a lot of light at the end of the tunnel, and the strong women of South Africa are going to lead in the healing of that. But in the beginning, it's going to be really rough. So I was just thinking of Credo, and how now he is an ancestor. So I lit some candles, and in the South African tradition, or the African tradition, you also make a little plate of food for the ancestors. So I'm going to do that tonight. And I felt like I was supposed to meet him, but when I went to South Africa, I was with someone else, and the driver that we got, let's just put it this way, wasn't that reliable. So I didn't get to meet him in person, but I feel like he has come to me in visions. He's come to me in ceremony, and he's helped me when I was in some really difficult emoting of ancestral pain that goes back to Africa, that goes back to the slave trade. And he came to me when I was going through that and helped me through it. And then this beautiful white light came through, and just all I could feel was the beautiful white light of God. So I just want to say something about Credo Mutwa. You can look him up. And his name is Credo Mutwa, Mutwa, if you want to look him up. And it's whitelions.org, and you can learn more about the White Lions, because what they do represent is, it doesn't matter what religion you are, but it's the Christ consciousness prevailing through the planet. So if you think about being Christ-like and following the commandments, it is a consciousness that is rising up in different human beings all along the planet. And just like the white buffalo appearing, that represents what we call the New Age, or Age of Aquarius, or the fifth dimension, well, the white lions appearing in South Africa represented that. And the native people there, they're called Shungung people, they protect these white lions and they revere them. However, there are some beings that we call not so light and shiny that saw these white lions as an opportunity to capitalize on it. And so if two tawny lions gave birth to a white lion, they would capture that baby lion. They would have it grow up in like a cage. And then people who have a lot of money would come to South Africa and hunt them, but they wouldn't really hunt them. They would just shoot them in like a, size of a tennis court. So there was really no hunting, there was no game. Doesn't make any sense. They would pay $100,000 to have a trophy on their wall. So, in indigenous times, maybe some tribal people had to occasionally kill a lion, but, 60% of all animal species since the 70s have been made extinct. And if it wasn't for Credo Mutwa and Maria Cosa and Linda Tucker, there would still be a huge industry of can farming, and there wouldn't be these beautiful lions roaming free and being able to reproduce. So that's so what's happening now again is a rebirth on the planet. And for myself, I do miss going to yoga. I miss Pilates. I miss chatting with my friends at my organic market. I miss the ability to even plan a trip, because I don't know if I'll be able to plan a trip to Peru or Costa Rica or Europe this summer, because we just have to take it one day at a time. We don't know when the flights will be open again. I would pray and hope that this virus will go into Mother Earth and regenerate into flowers for the spring, but again, we don't know. So I wanted to, it's a very, you could tell I've used this deck a lot. Not many people have this deck. I got it when I was in South Africa. I guess you could get it on whitelions.org. It's the White Lion Medicine Cards by Linda Tucker. It's called White Lion Leadership, Step into Your Purpose. So I was going to just shuffle and see if there was a message for us today. I really encourage you also to do your numerology for this year, which is your month. So mine is 11. And then your date, which is 02. And then you put in 2020, because you're doing what is your numerology for today, for this year. And I did mine, and I did it because I was watching Ilanya Vasant, and she was having us do it today, and I love her. And it was very helpful because I'm in an 8 year, an 8. So an 8 is infinity, and it's also a really good time for me to actually ground in a very subtle but strong way into my power, and to start my spiritual coaching business. And this is exactly what I'm doing right now. So I can help other people who are sensitives or empathics, especially women. I can help people that have had issues with addiction in terms of the patterns with it. I don't do the detoxing. They'd have to do their own detoxing, but the pattern of addiction. Could be shopping addiction, whatever. Or if you grew up in a family with a lot of addiction. Okay, let me pull a card here. Oh, expand your territory. Look at that. And I met these lions too. Now, of course, they are wild, so you don't get too close. You get up 4:30 in the morning, you're in an open air Jeep, and they drive, and you just sit there quietly and breathe. And they're sitting over there, and we just kind of commune together. We're not getting out running around with them or anything like that. Of course, even Linda Tucker doesn't touch them, but you can feel their power and their magnificence. And where it's located on the map, if you look at Timvavate and you look at ancient Kemet or Egypt, it's on the same meridian line, right where the Great Sphinx is. So there's a lot of cosmology that goes back to ancient Kemet. that has to do with the white lion. So expand your territory, pride life. So there are different categories here. There's pride life is the first category. There's existential qualities, values, actions, and lion gods. So I'm going to look up expand your territory. Although right now, my territory is my condo, which is like 1,050 feet. And my territory is walking in the woods in Reston. But after this is over, we can all expand our territory. So the basic guidance: the time is right to expand or upgrade your territory. This may mean investing in property, moving, homes, house, renovation, or equally expansion in intellectual horizons. By improving and expanding your territory, you will invite the ability to expand and move to the higher level of functioning and awareness. So for me, expanding my territory is just having the courage to get on YouTube. I'm expanding my territory that way. Doing home improvements, I'm doing home improvements by decluttering. There's lots of papers that I don't need. And expanding my territory in terms of the future. I would like to do some sacred journeys to Europe, to sacred places in Scotland, and I'd like to do a journey possibly back to Peru and Costa Rica and Belize. I'm looking at Belize, the next one. So how can you expand your territory during this time of introspection when, legally we can't go too far? But again, it is okay to walk on the paths. It is okay, I heard, to just walk on the beach, not to hang out on the beach, because I know some people got in trouble for that. And I'm going to actually see about getting my bike tuned up. I've had a bike on my porch for like 5 years, and I very rarely ride it. When I would go to the vineyard, I would ride the bike all the time. So I'm going to see if the bike shop is open. It's been sitting there so long, I think it's rusty, and if I'll be able to bike. So the message for myself and for you is expand your territory. And again, and that can be intellectually. I also started today the Course in Miracles. Now that's a book that I've had on my shelf for years and years, and I would open it occasionally, but Marianne Williamson has been coming on every day, and she really motivated me to start. So I started the Course in Miracles today. Course in Miracles, and gosh, I'm only on page 5. There's a lot to it, but yeah, I'm really excited about going through this entire course over the next month. So we'll see how that goes. There's about 600 and some pages of text, and then there's the workbook for students, and then there is the manual for teachers. So again, what book has been on your shelf for a long time that you've always wanted to read and you didn't have time? Even the people that are still, working their high-powered corporate job, maybe you work for Capital One, or maybe you work for any of these big companies here, but you don't have that 2-hour commute or that hour commute, and then you could expand your mind with some spiritual books or spiritual videos, or even doing more exercise, because I know a lot of people, they don't have the energy if they're commuting. I have a friend that works for the government, and she loves Kundalini Yoga, but she always says, Beverly, I have to get out of my house at 7. By the time I get home, it's 6:37. I just don't have time. So now she has no commuting. She has time to put in, a DVD. I did a meditation this morning with Satnam Kaur, online. So look up some of your favorite teachers. They may be doing something. Hey you. I'm getting, she's like upset that she's not in the film, I guess. But sorry, she's trying to be like a lion here. I didn't want her like right in front of the camera right now. So she got a little feisty. That cat energy. Anyway, So I'm just going to end with some breathing techniques that I've been doing. And a lot of you know this, especially if you do yoga. First, let me take a sip of my cacao. Since I was kind of blue this morning, I'm drinking it actually late at night, but I laid in bed till 10, so I probably won't go to bed till 2. Wow. And the thing about cacao is if you're really tired, you can still go to sleep because it's got the magnesium in it. Okay. All right, here we go. So you breathe in. Here, I'm taking my thumb and I'm putting it over my right nostril and I'm breathing in. Then I take the forefinger and close it and then breathe out. So I'm breathing in through the right nostril. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in the right nostril. Close. Breathe out. One more. You'd be amazed at just doing a few of those, how it will balance the brain and lift your mood. So anyway, anything that you wish for, today is a good time to write it out, and also what you miss. It's okay to say, I miss going to yoga, or I miss hugging my friends that work at Mom's, or I miss being able to go on a road trip. I miss whatever you miss, it's okay. Grieve it, and then write out your wish list, and then keep this in mind. Expand your territory, because this will end. This too shall pass. And nobody really knows exactly when. It may end the end of this month, may go into next month, but we will be traveling again. We will be able to go to yoga again. We will be able to go to the YMCA and swim in the pools and things like that. We will. This is just a major rebirth and reset. And we're all in this together. Thanks for tuning in. Namaste. Much love to all of you.